Hey y'all, it's Zach. Can I be vulnerable for a second? Thank you. So I had major mic issues in this episode with Sapphic Memphis. My mic was malfunctioning the whole way through this episode, so I had to cut out pretty much all of my audio. The episode is still amazing. You still get to see the amazing Sapphic Memphis members, Alex, Karis, Chloe, and Faye, who are part of a larger group of board members of Sapphic Memphis. And Sapphic Memphis is an amazing collective dedicated to celebrating queer nightlife and creating safe Sapphic spaces. It's one of my favorite episodes. The first question I asked was, what is it like being in this collective? What have you learned about yourself and your creativity?
I've definitely become more queer since joining Sapphic Memphis. I think just being more a part of the community really gives you the space to sort of explore yourself and explore like who you are and like who you want to be perceived as. And I think discovering more about yourself and like the opportunity to be more yourself also breeds creativity, because you're doing so much self-discovery, you want to express that. So it really brings out like a lot of creativity to be sort of like excavating yourself like that.
I think community is like our main goal. Helping people find people like them, fostering community is like a huge goal of ours. I've just learned that like there are people out there who really appreciate me and like what I do, and like likewise, you know, it's like everybody has something to offer. Everybody is like special in their own different ways, and I like really, that's like something that I really do enjoy about being a part of Sapphic Memphis.
I love being part of Sapphic Memphis, especially based off of what y'all were saying. It is a amazing community with like-minded people. We're able to not only like host these events for like-minded people as well, but also like we are all really creative. All of us have different senses of style that all mesh well, so like it meshes well so awesomely. And I love our vibe. I love how we collab. And everything about us is just like an awesome rainbow mixing pot of just like creativity and love and joy. And I'm really happy that we can give that and we get it back from like our participants and our guests. So yeah.
Being a part of Sapphic has shown me how important safety is to like having spaces like this. I remember my first Sapphic party that I went to as like a member of the group was Halloween, and that was the first time where I felt comfortable enough like wearing fishnet stockings and something a little bit more revealing. And it was because I knew that I was going to be in a space that I was safe enough to express my sexuality without feeling like objectified or weird. So just like all of that is possible because of the intention that we've put behind making that space like accessible and comfortable for everyone.
For each one of y'all, was there a moment at one of these Sapphic Memphis events where you were like, this is it, I've always wanted to be part of this? Are there any memories that you have where it's like, I'm in this is special?
I think for me, we really get the opportunity to work with like amazing people and like members of the community. And every time they come back to us and say like, thank you so much for hiring me, like thank you so much for like letting me be a part of this, like this was such a beautiful night. I'm getting like chills right now talking about it. It just like every single time I feel so lucky and like so honored to have like done something to like facilitate that for them, and to like be a part of something that a lot of people like enjoyed, and that really like reinvigorates us and fills us up, you know, creatively and like as a community.
I think for me it was definitely hosting this last event. I feel like I'm a baby comedian, freshly newly printed comedian, newly minted, whatever. But yeah, it was like that was my first time hosting anything. They really put a lot of trust in me. And I felt like for a first timer, it really went off pretty well. It was like everybody like made it so fun. Everybody was like showing lots of love to like not just me, but like the performers and like the stage kittens. And so like that was like really nice. Yeah, it's just like I would have a year ago when I moved back home, I like definitely would have never seen myself doing something like that. I feel it was just like definitely like me out of my comfort zone, because I'm a extroverted introvert. I feel like I'm very shy and like not typically like the first person to like jump in front of a crowd of people, but it was really fun. And like I feel like our community, like the people who showed up for us, the people who like were coming there expecting the show, they really made it the best environment for me to, I don't know, like pop my little cherry, my hosting cherry. Yeah.
Honestly, it was our first meeting, well, my first meeting in Sapphic, when I realized this is what, like, I should have been here. We all understand how hard it is to be queer where we are. We all understand how hard it is to find safe and Sapphic spaces. And after like our first meeting, just sitting down with everyone, meeting everyone, understanding like the direction we want it to go, like, cause you know, we do nightlife, but we also like, we work with community partners, and we want to continue to do that. And that right there, especially when we were planning Pride, that's definitely when I was like, y'all, this is it. Like this is what we are here for. So I would have to say our first meeting, and then this past meeting we had to plan for Pride for sure.
I was
Everybody.
I was also gonna say Pride. Like that was such a special day for all of us, obviously, but I think it added onto it because of the storm that happened that morning. And it was just such a special night for us because like these events are so important and just so necessary. And so just being able to be a part of the organization that was creating a safe space specifically for queer Sapphic people, it just felt like really special and like emotional for me, honestly. And me and Karis were tabling and sort of like had a table set up at the entrance, like greeting people when they walked in, and like seeing all the like queer folks walking in, like looking so excited and so happy to be there. It was just like really, really sweet, and everyone's just so nice. I don't know, it's great.
So to get semi-serious, growing up, were there moments where you felt left out and didn't have a community? How do you think that impacted your creativity?
Growing up, and I know a lot of people relate, especially being in the Bible Belt, growing up with religion, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's sometimes where it can feel like it's limiting who you are as a person. And I went to a predominantly white school, so I not only was I not around a lot of queer people, I wasn't around a lot of people that looked like me in general. And then going to college, I went to Mississippi State, so which was great, you know. Hey, go Bulldogs! But yeah, I went there, and it's great. It is great, but at the same time, there could be more queer people, right? And so I had amazing friends. Do not get me wrong, but they weren't queer like me, you know. And then it is not the same. And so sometimes I felt like I couldn't dress fully the way I wanted to, because I didn't want to look too extra, like with my friends. Like I didn't want all my friends to be wearing like, you know, a crop top and shorts, and I'm over here wearing like all black makeup and like all that stuff, right, spikes and stuff, and I'm just like the odd one out. And coming back to Memphis and seeing all the creativity and meeting y'all, I was like, I'm being myself.
I'm so glad you get to wear as many spikes as you want.
Thank you. It's so therapeutic.
Yeah, I think for me too. I think for Karis as well. I mean, like, growing up in the church, like, I remember when I came out as bisexual, and like it was just like the weekly news like going around the congregation, and it was just like, oh boy, like, you know. And like I was in fucking, I want to say like, I was my junior year of high school, maybe sophomore, maybe. And like they were just like, how do you know? Like, how do you know that? And I was just like, I just know. Like, you know, it's just like nothing's wrong with it. It's like I like everybody essentially, you know. And I remember like not only like moving back home a year ago, I like moved back into like a coaching household, And so like a deeply conservative Christian household. I remember I actually got in trouble for the first Sapphic Memphis event I went to, Disco Obedience. The outfit I wore, my granddad's wife went out and got my granddad and was just like, he needs to look at you before you leave the house.
Oh, no.
And then he was just like, oh, no, we can't have that. And I was just like, I'm going to an all, like, girl, like, dance party. And they were just like, we don't care. Like, we can't have the neighbors seeing you like that. And it's just like, we live in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So, yeah, like, I just remember, like, growing up and, like, always being the odd one out, like, in church and, like, shout out Tumblr, man. Shout out. Like, Tumblr? Like, that shit, I would not be who I was if Tumblr didn't exist, because I've always been, like, just this way. And, like, recently, like, yeah, like Faye said, like, meeting everybody else and, like, being able to, like, I would have never had my ass out if it wasn't for Karis, you know? It's just right. These people, like, give me, like, the confidence, like, in my day-to-day life to just, like, go on and, like, be who I am. And, like, you know, I deeply appreciate it. So, yeah.
I definitely was always like really quirky growing up, and I was also in a conservative Christian household. My dad was like the mission pastor of like a sort of mega church in Knoxville. So yeah, I definitely felt like I was living in a fishbowl, you know, like my parents encouraged me to be creative, but only to like a certain extent, you know, so I was very sheltered. It never even occurred to me that I could be gay. Like, I didn't even know that girls could be gay for a long time, you know? Like, the first time I met a bisexual girl, I was like, that's an option? That's crazy. What's it like? You know, literally. But, you know, like, growing up like that, you don't know. You just think something is wrong with you, you know? You're like, everyone just must be dealing with this so much better and so much easier than I am, you know? Like, everyone else is normal. Or they're pretending a lot better than I am. But, yeah, finding queer community, you know, I can be myself, truly. And, like, I am perceived the way I want to be. Like, they see me for who I am, you know?
Like everyone else on this couch, I was raised in a Christian, like, religious household. My family was Catholic, so that was really fun for me.
The guilt.
I'm still working through the guilt. And I was also a band kid growing up. Okay, period. So there was a lot of indicators from an early age that something was up with me. And, like,
what did you play?
Okay, I started out with piano, then violin, then clarinet was my big one.
Okay, clarinet is pretty gay.
Yeah. And it's funny, so it wasn't until I got to marching band in high school that I really felt like I was in, like, a community of, like-minded people, because down the road, a lot of us came out as gay. But before that, it was sort of just me, like, writing poems about, like, girls in band on my notes app and thinking that was, like, totally normal, which it is. It is normal. But, yeah, community is just very important. I don't really think it was until I left college that I really found, like, a true sense of queer community, and, like, being a part of Sapphic Memphis has helped that a lot. And then also being a barista was a huge moment for me. But yeah.
I am like what I describe as a serial crafter. I am like severely ADHD, so the hyperfixations kind of choose me. I have like demons inside me, you know, and I just have to craft them out. You know, I crochet. Right now I'm working on chainmail. I've made chainmail. I've sewed in the past, like I've painted. You know, I'm a very just like, I like to just kind of put it out there. Like, I've written songs, no one will ever hear them, you know, but like,
maybe.
But I definitely have like sort of like long-term goals too, just like things that I admire about like people who can make an album. Like, I mean, maybe at some point in my life I'll just like drop an album and I'll be like, here you go, and then never do music again, you know, like I think that's really what drives me, you know, like I feel compelled to like create. Like, I can't live and just like consume. I can't just like sit. Like, I have to do something, you know, like there has to be meaning to my time, I guess, you know.
Well, I'm a musician first and always first. I sing, I play a little bit of bass. I'm a serial playlist maker. I've like made a playlist every month since 2015, so almost 10 years we're coming up on. It's crazy. And then after that, I was a photographer and a videographer, like when I was in college. So like I've always like had an eye for like the visual aspect, like aesthetics and stuff like that. Like I said, I had a Tumblr, so I've always been like, like love pictures, love images, like flash a little GIF at me real quick. What else? I make a lot of our graphics actually for Sapphic Memphis. They don't call me PNG Shawty for nothing, so I'll be working hard on Canva. I think that's like about it. I mean, like I cook, whatever. Anything else I can think of? I DJ, I guess sometimes. Like it's just. I feel like I've always been a Jill of all trades. Like whatever I like put my hands on, I kind of like once I figure it out, it's like I'm in there. Like,
how do you keep up your creative energy? Is there anything you do to stay connected to it?
I think it's mostly the playlist. I think like if anything else, like if I don't create anything, it's always gonna be like a playlist. And that's like it's the bare minimum, I know, but like something about like curating like music for me has like always been, I always keep up with new music, like the new stuff. I'm a huge festival girly. I mean, like I was at Bonnaroo, what fucking sucked, but like yeah, that's always been like my life and stuff, like music, art, movies. Love me some movies. But yeah, that's what I do creatively.
So basically you're just really cool.
Oh my god, people say that all the time and I'm like, I don't feel that way though, I'm just a girl.
What about you, Faye? You're one of my favorite drag artists, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Yeah. So with drag, there obviously everyone knows there's a lot that goes into it, but I take inspiration from literally anything around me. A lot of my inspiration definitely comes from video games. Yeah, definitely. A lot of like really when I think about it, a lot of my creativity genuinely comes from video games that I play. But yeah, I've always loved makeup. I did theater. I love fashion. I love hair. I love wigs. I love it all. I also love the craft. I just got into sewing. Yeah. I'm not. Oh, they're not. Y'all ain't ready. Your collage parties. Even there is a collage that I made that has inspired a look that I want to do. Yes, I'm so serious. And like that leads into like what keeps me going, like events like yours. Everyone at the Lamplighter. Yes. Barry Spit, hey. And another thing that really keeps me going, Adderall. I gotta, that ADHD be wild.
What about you, Chloe?
Damn.
I know your secret.
What is my secret, Zach?
I just know you're going to make an album one day.
Oh. Okay. I mean, that would be crazy. Y'all are all gonna be on the album with me, including you, Zach.
I remember when we first met, we were talking about collaborating on a song together.
Yeah, and I would love to. So my creative side is something I feel like I'm still trying to best tap back into, because I was very creative like in band and things like that, and I wrote songs and poems and I really enjoyed doing that. I feel like music is my like medium, but I'm trying to get back into playing guitar, writing a little bit, and then apart from that, I'm really inspired by like fashion as well, hair, but I'm really just the type of person that likes to be surrounded by creative people in the hopes that I'll just like slurp up all of that energy. But a goal for myself is to create a lot more this year and find like that driving force and that inspiration. And I think that being among like creative minded people is very helpful for me to do that.
Is there something that has held you back from being fully creative?
I'm shy. Like, honestly, I feel like it's true when people say like you're holding yourself back.
I feel that all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like, my friends like are like, I mean, you know, all my friends are musicians, and they're just like, when are you gonna like start doing music seriously? I'm like,
And my favorite question to ask, if you had all the time and all the resources in the world, what would be your dream project creatively for yourself and for Sapphic Memphis?
For Sapphic Memphis, oh, I would buy a whole strip, right? I would buy a whole. I have. I would buy a whole strip, right? There will be a tea and coffee shop that's a speakeasy at night. There will be a clothing store and like any other things that all local artists can like come and sell their stuff. And then there will be another place specifically for people to come and like create and do stuff. Like whether they want to make music or whatever. I mean, the only thing is you just got to be queer, and that's pretty easy, right? So like, and then what else was I thinking? Yeah, I just want us to have like a whole strip, and then like we just go hard on it. And then for me personally, I feel like I would just really like to be able to travel and take inspiration from where I am. And maybe like build new outfit pieces. There is an amazing drag artist named Asia Consent, and what she does is she will travel as well and like go and see like what inspiration she can pull from, who she can talk to, things like that. I'm like, I want to do that. So that's definitely what I would do.
I'll go. I've always been really fascinated by like visual media and film, and I think it would be really fun if I had all of the resources in the world to do some sort of like documentary of Sapphic and like have the girlies like make the background music and just sort of like a all hands on deck sort of thing. Just like showing how like the behind the scenes would work and how the parties themselves work, like set up, take down. Yeah, just like that vibe. I think that would be so fun.
It's like similar to my personal dream, but it's not really like it's creative in that you really have to think of like a completely different world. But I would love to have just like, you know, I would love to have like housing. I would love to have like a space that we could always go to that we know is safe. You know, we don't have to worry about the venue hiring like skeezy bodyguards, you know, like we don't have to worry about like random people coming. Like it's our space. Like we own it. We dictate what happens there. You know, like nobody's telling us that we can't do something. But also just like giving back to the community. Like I would love to do like, you know, if I could do anything, right? Like I would love to do community meals. I would love to have like community housing. Like I would love to do, you know, like provide actually like give back to like the Sapphics that give so much to us. But is that creative? Does that count?
Yes.
I think mine aligns with everybody else's. I would like envision something kind of like, you know, the concourse for us. It's just like, what if we bought like a building and it was just like everything you could ever need just right there for our community. Yeah, I we've like been harping so much about community, but like it really is everything. Like the people are really like what makes us and like what makes us like able to do this and to like be able to like give back to our community. It would make us all like so happy like tenfold, I think. And then for like me personally, an album. I think like that's just like something I've been like thinking about for like a really fucking long time, and like whenever I like get over this mental block that I have about like performing and like doing music and stuff, which I'm slowly itching out of that with the comedy. But I feel like an album would be my next goal, my biggest goal. If I like had all the funds in the world, I would like sit and I would write for days, and I would like write skits and like do all the visuals and like Like, I'm talking like really big type shit. Not to be like type shit on the podcast, but you know, type shit. My partner hates it. But yeah, that's just, you know, it's music has always like been ingrained in me, I feel, and so like I feel like I'm denying myself by not making an album. You know, it's like once I get into that, it's over with.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so inspired by y'all. This was so fun. Like, I want to hang out with y'all all the time. Are there any upcoming Sapphic Memphis events?
We don't know, babe. We still haven't debriefed this last one.
We need a debrief. We do need a debrief.
We always take a long break after Pride because Pride is so... But something kind of summery, something kind of campy, something kind of...
Summer camp?
Watery.
Summer camp?
Yeah, there should be something fun coming soon.
Yeah.
So.
High School Musical 2?
The heat
Stay
wave
tuned.
might be coming, but y'all will get cooled off.
Uh-oh.